Hey everyone, it is LCid932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a Love is Blind Germany. This is this first season, episodes 1 through 4 live. Before we get into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave us some comments because we will be going through the comments. We want to hear from you. We want to know your thoughts because we have a lot of thoughts. And before we share our thoughts, I would like to introduce my guest. This is a very, very good YouTube pal of mine. This is Dahlia. Dahlia, introduce yourself, if you will, to the people.
Hi, I'm Dahlia. It's nice to see you guys. I actually know Elsie from Little Black Books channel. Shout out to Kojo, and she just cajoled me into coming onto her channel. So I'm happy to be here.
I cajoled you. I like that. I like that. You know, it's a nice way of saying strong arm without too much strength.
Never strong arm, cajoled.
So, um, Love is Blind. Just so give some of you guys feedback. I haven't done a live in a while. I like to do relationship shows, mainly Love is Blind, but I love the international shows for what they teach us or teach me. I have done Love is Blind Argentina, Brazil season 4, Mexico, UK,
Wow.
Habibi. Oh, that's my other favorite is Habibi. Absolutely Habibi. So Germany is definitely coming up close to ranking. Okay. Oh, Germany is just giving. What are your thoughts? While I say hello to the folks here in the chat, what are your thoughts? First thoughts
Oh,
about Germany?
so I've had a chance to watch a few of the other franchises. Japan is by far my favorite. I adore Japan, so I need you to. They only have one season, but I need you to watch it for me, Elsa, please. So yeah, but they're at the top of my list. As far as Germany is concerned, I don't. I put it in my caption here. I said bombastic side eye because I have my issues with them. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. Like I do appreciate the fact that I'm trying to think of some good things that I like about the show. I do I like the fact that oh, here's what I can say. I like the fact that we have a good amount of diversity, which is actually on par with Germany. For those who don't know, I'm actually working overseas in Germany right now and was pleasantly surprised by how diverse Germany actually is. It is right up there with the US as far as the population percentage is concerned.
Okay.
So that was really nice to see, and I appreciated the fact that they had some really good looking women on there. I feel like pretty much every woman on there was gorgeous. The men, the men were okay. I thought the
We'll
editing
get
was
there.
terrible. I hate the pacing.
Oh,
We can get into that later.
yes.
And but I do like the fact that this is one of the rare times where we see a woman involved in a love triangle as opposed to just the men. I feel like lately a lot of the franchises it's been nothing but men who have love triangles and they eat it up with a biscuit. And I'm just happy to see that for once a woman is having it and it's a black woman. I call me colors, whatever. I don't care. I'm always gonna rep for black women. So yeah,
Okay.
that did make me like it's a little bit more
Well, we
happy.
we're gonna start there because in that vein, the
Hmm.
beauty on Love Is Blind Germany
Yes.
is, I mean, I thought Love Is Blind UK had some good-looking people, but Germany, as I
Yeah.
have a short, the melanin is popping.
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah.
Germany, I have been sleeping on you. I have to
It's
visit
there.
Germany
Yeah.
because my people are there and they are beautiful people. I
Yeah.
was
They
amazed. I was loving to see we have, you know, a lot more of us in the Love is
mhm.
Blind Germany than other seasons, even in some US seasons. So I was quite pleasantly surprised with that.
Yeah. I was too, even knowing that Germany is pretty diverse, I was pleasantly surprised. And I don't know if they're gonna make it a point in later episodes to say anything. You probably caught it in episode 4. You'll have to forgive me because I didn't get a chance to watch your last episode on it. So maybe you mentioned this already, but Togla and Hannah, and I'm pretty sure what's her name, Sheila, they're Turkish. I don't know if you caught that or not, but there's a very large Turkish population here in Germany. They came here right after World War II, so that it makes sense that you would see them pop up in the cast. So we have our Africans, we have the Turkish people who are kind of like Middle Eastern adjacent. I'm trying to think, were there any other races in the mix? I think maybe was it just them, or do you remember seeing anybody else?
Well, that is funny you should say that because I was trying to clock Daniel.
Yes, I forgot about Daniel. I don't know what he is either. I can't tell.
Now, I was trying to
I can't
clock his
tell.
heritage because Daniel is giving me Latino male, but I don't know. You know, that is a region. He's also given me Tunisia. I mean, Daniel
Oh.
is just a little different, and I love it because I like Daniel's personnel. We'll get into who um,
Mm-hmm.
and what later on, but yes, I am. You know, the only thing I don't like is like the editing seems abrupt in many things. It seems abrupt. It seems there is more, and why am I seeing certain people on my screen when they just go away? But we will get there. We will get there.
Yeah.
So you know, I like notes on this channel so I can make sure I get everything.
Thank you.
So let's start with one of our beautiful young ladies, a beautiful young lady that has a little love triangle. Okay, I'm gonna try and share this. I'll try and share pictures at another moment. Let's start with Shella.
Mm-hmm.
Love Shella. In the beginning, my thoughts on Shala. Shala has a love triangle with Pascal and Fabio,
Right.
and we could get into dynamics. But as with everything, I have to preface that everyone, I am watching this show. It is edited show. It is translated into English. It is subtitled in English, so the nuances of the culture I may not capture, and I would appreciate you put it in the comments. And please educate me because I really don't understand some things. With Shella, what I had in my reviews, what she wants is a very emotive gentleman that,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't have to guess his emotion. She's getting that
Right.
with Fabio. Fabio's giving that to her. But she's choosing Pascal when he gives her one moment of emotion, the one letter.
Mm-hmm.
And editing is so shisty, but so good when they show that she's excited, but he's like, I don't feel like she's my fiance. But he asked her to marry him. Editing has, oof, editing. But there's many layers to Shala. So let us start there for me. The dynamics with her and Pascal and Fabio. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I at first glance I really liked Shella. I intentionally did the first episode with the original voices and just put it on captions because I wanted to hear how people actually speak, because I find that the dubbed voices, they there's very little emotion in it, so you can't really tell how people sound to each other or how they emote. So that first episode, I got to hear everybody speak. Shella has a lovely voice. It's so low, it's so soft and low, and I want her to put me to sleep. She's a really really nice voice, and she looks like a model. I believe her when she says she's a working model. She looks like it. She's just an all around beautiful woman, and it actually makes sense that she would want somebody who's more who's like more lively and in touch with their emotions, because I find her to be pretty reserved and somewhat introverted. At least that was the first impression that I got from her. The same thing for Pascal. He seems pretty reserved, and I thought to myself, I'm not really sure why she's attracted to him, because he's the very opposite of what she said that she wanted. And I think the reason why she was giving him a chance is because he said that he'd been in Africa for a few weeks, and I thought, oh, that's cute that he's been in Africa, but so freaking what? There's, I mean, no disrespect here, but a lot of people, a lot of white people go to Africa. That don't mean that they like you though, girl. I don't. That's
I
neither
agree.
here nor there.
I totally
Um,
agree. I totally agree.
if
But
you
here's
don't
the
know for
thing.
sure, that's a fetish. So
Here's the thing. But that means for Shella, let me be on Shella's side. That means I
okay.
don't have to explain a lot of culture to you. It may mean that. May I'm not saying it
Maybe.
would. It may mean that. But sorry to interrupt.
No, 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 you're fine. But he may have been one of those people who just stayed on the resort. I was in Mexico, but I couldn't tell you anything about it because they told me to stay inside of the resort. And that's exactly what I did. So who knows how much interaction he actually had with the culture, with the people while he was there. And I don't I feel like more could have been said about him. I To be honest with you, back to editing, I don't really know anything about either of them. Uh, I can really say that for most of the people on this show, I don't really know too much about them. So it's hard for me to say for sure whether or not any person is a good fit for each other. And that's not even really the couple's fault. That's really more so to do with how the show is produced and edited. So there's that. As far as Shella's concerned, are we getting into like all of the episodes from 1 to 4?
Yeah, we're just talking about the people, their dynamics. So you could totally do 1 through 4. That's why I said exactly who Shella picked. Shella
Okay.
picked Pascal. That's
Okay.
why I said I wonder why if it she picked him and favored him over
Hmm.
Fabio. I can say my U.S. thought, and I know this is I have a few friends in Germany, not a lot,
Yeah.
but Fabio's living situation with his mother and the brother with the family is a common one for some parts of Germany. It's a common one,
Yes. I
but it ain't
actually
common here.
not so much. Not so much. I didn't mind that. I did feel like that would scare me off though from wanting to marry you and be moved into that situation if I don't have a really good relationship with your family, because what'll end up happening is it's basically going to be like 3 against 1, because he can just easily run to his family and spin a narrative about how you guys are operating, and then you look like the bad guy, but you're stuck in his house with his family, and their loyalty will always be to him over you. That's what I was thinking of when he was saying that. Like, that's on the surface that sounds really cool because he's clearly family oriented, which is a good thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good for you. So that's what I
Totally
was
agree.
thinking of.
Totally
Um,
agree with that. Totally agree with that sentiment
yeah,
because it's basically you're not building a life with just him. You're building a life with his family.
yeah,
And for me, with nuances, it's how you go in. You better have an exit strategy. If we don't have
mm-hmm,
an exit strategy, sorry, with the family,
mm-hmm.
you could be out in the cold. And Germany is cold in the winter. I mean, it's
Yes,
cold where I am here right
woo,
now. It just got above freezing today, but Germany is cold.
girl,
And if you end up living with him, the brother has a wife and a kid already. Mama's living there too.
yeah,
I'm hoping the dynamic, I'm hoping if she comes from that kind of family lifestyle, because she said, oh, that is awesome. So it
mm-hmm,
tells me Shella may come from a very community family way of living. But I'm not so sure. But Fabio is expressive. I agree with you with Pascal. Pascal's reserved.
mm-hmm.
It takes a long time to adjust. It didn't seem like it really gelled that she picked Pascal from what we saw over Fabio.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's because they just didn't ask good questions, or because they intentionally chose to just edit all of that stuff out. So we could only focus on the drama of her. Well, it really wasn't even a love triangle. It was more like a love square. So I'm not sure if that was the reason why. Um, and here's the other thing. Shella likes drama. She says that she doesn't, but yeah, she does. And she
You
actually
read my
kind of reminds
notes.
me
You
of
read my
Togla a little bit,
notes.
because
You
she's kind of like a low key. She's kind of an F girl. That's the vibe that I get from her, because how she interacted with Alberta um, was totally uncalled for, and it felt like she was trying to manufacture drama. And I'm not sure if that, maybe that she had a producer in her ear egging her on, telling her, "Oh, you should ask her about this stuff," or if that was just of her own volition. But I really, really did not like how she was carrying on with Alberta, who was clearly already pretty distraught, trying to push her into having a conversation, because it's not real. Like in real life, if you were dating and you found out that the person that you're dating is also dating other people, which is fine because you're not exclusive. If you found that out, you're not going to want to hear about how his dates went with somebody else, and you wouldn't expect that the other party will be telling you how their dates went. And you also wouldn't be trying to have a conversation with the person that they're dating and like trading information. It's weird. I've never understood that about this show. The women, especially, are really bad about that. And I think that half of the reason why they end up getting their feelings hurt and why it doesn't go well for them is because they don't know how to move in silence. And
right, right.
yeah,
I have on Shella being drama, and I have that. You
yes,
read my notes, girl. You read my
I did.
notes. When Shella went to Alberta and
Mhm.
told Alberta that Fabio and I just talked about how he was going to break up with you. Why, Shella?
Why?
Why? You knew Alberta was emotionally invested in this man. She was emotionally, I don't want to hear about your dates. But the one time we have seen that you're sharing about your date, y'all have talked about how he's going to break up with her. That screamed to me, Shella. You are not the girl's girl that I was hoping you were. That is
Mm-mm.
devastating. And also, why would you tell Alberta that when clearly after one date you changed your mind? Clearly after
Yeah,
one date. So Fabio
that
can change his mind
that spun
after
me.
one
I
date.
was not expecting her to go pick Pascal after that, and I don't think Fabio was either. And I'm wondering, again, she's giving me these Togla vibes where she was basically telling Fabio what he needed to hear to keep him on the hook. And then when he comes to her and tells her how he feels, she can feel good about herself about the fact that two men wanted her, because it didn't sound like he was expecting that at all. And it's like, well, what are you telling him for him to think that he really stood a chance with you and he's willing to drop Alberta?
I don't know why. I know why, but I don't know why Fabio just went wholeheartedly. It's like, I'm sorry, nobody is actually taken until we have proposals. Until
Yeah.
we have proposals, we're kind of open. And even then, UK showed us, Seattle, the US showed us, even if you propose, go on a honeymoon, you can change your mind. So again, why it felt to me mean girlish. I'm sorry, Shella. I do like your personality, as Dahlia said. I love your voice, Shella. But telling Alberta, I would love to know why the breakup. You could just say we had a great date and leave it
Mhm.
there. But to say that he's about to break up with Alberta, oh my gosh. And then you turn around and you changed your mind. You tossed him aside. You told Alberta he's going to toss her aside. And then you end up with Pascal. It's messy. It's good
Yeah.
for TV, but it's messy.
Yeah, good
It
for
is
TV. That was
messy.
that was really good.
I didn't
But
understand. I didn't understand Shala telling that. I didn't understand the woman sharing so much
mhm,
because the men weren't sharing names at first. The men kept it close and
mm-mm.
gave advice generally. But when it turned around and the women were knowing who, what, and when they had dates with the man. I'm like, Ladies, y'all talk too much. Y'all talk
I
too much.
I wish I could be an expert there so I can teach them what not to do. I feel like me and you, if we paired up, we could have had all these ladies married because I would have told them, do not share your business with any of these women. As far as you're concerned, they're all snakes. They don't have your back. I know they tell you they're your friends. They're not your friends. Okay. They're going to tell your business to any and everybody. Don't take any advice from them. They're not here to help you. They see you as competition. I would have told them, if you have more than one person that you're into, don't even tell the person that you're dating that you have more than one person. They don't need to know that.
They
It's none of their
don't.
business.
They don't. I'm playing
Keep
ignorant
that to
if they
yourself.
do find out. Here's
Yeah.
here. So let's move on to who we just talked about. Shella is beautiful. We believe she's a model, but I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Alberta is
Girl.
absolutely gorgeous and does something to me, meaning I can appreciate the beauty that is Alberta. I mean, the girl is stunning, stunning, and that puts me on.
Yes.
Why are you here, Alberta? But hey, it's youth. She's 25. She's 25. I will give her that grace.
Mm.
But everybody too in their 30s also gave me an inkling of they only had like one serious relationship. And I'm like, don't y'all habitually date in Germany? I'd like someone in German culture and German dating tell me, do you guys not habitually date? By the time I was, yes, 24, I was married, but I was at least had a few dates and a couple of serious relationships under my belt. But I
Yeah.
guess serious is subjective. But Alberta, let's go back to Alberta. Alberta, girl, you are I know you're on this show. I loved how you played, and I loved how you played Fabio. Because Fabio tried to play in your face and you checked him. First, he wanted to know what you look like based on your name, and you checked him.
Smart. Yep.
You checked him. He said,
Yep.
we are not doing this. We are not doing
Mm-hmm.
this. Because, Shella was telling where she from and everything. Alberta, you also checked him. When he tried to use your age, you're the youngest one here. Alberta turned around and said, hey, you ain't young yourself. So why are you
Yep.
here? Alberta, girl, I really, Alberta, I do not have siblings and I'm an only child. And if I had a sibling, a younger sibling, I would want it to be Alberta. I'm telling you, the little snips she
Yeah.
gives, the little snips that Alberta gives just gave me life. She's like, we are behind this wall, but you are not going to play in my face.
Mm.
You are not going to play with me. I may be young, but I'm not foolish to this. Come to me as you are and don't judge me, is what I got from Alberta. And she does wear her emotions on her sleeve. I love that. I loved what she gave. But I would like to know more with Alberta. What does stability mean? She wants to be young and have a family. She's a student, they said. But what does a stable lifestyle mean for her to have a family in? I didn't get that. I really didn't. But I could see why Alberta and Fabio were drawn to each other. What were your thoughts on Alberta and the whole Fabio situation?
Okay, so I agree. She to me is the most beautiful woman on that cast, and honestly, I think one of the most beautiful women that they've had across all of the franchises. Period. I mean, she's not a model, but she really could be, and I don't think she knows that how she carries herself. I don't get the impression that she's aware of her own beauty. Like if you compare her to somebody like Honey is a stallion and she knows it, right? I don't think that Alberta knows that. And I think that it's leaking out into how she's showing up on these dates. And I think that's part of the reason why she hasn't been able to secure like a serious relationship. So there's that. There's some insecurity there. I personally I don't think that 25 is too young to get married. I feel like that's the age where you actually start wanting to get stable and settle down in general. And I actually don't even mind the fact that Fabio is, I think he's 33. I think. I think that's actually a good age range for a man and a woman. Having said that, I think that Alberta is too young emotionally. When I see how she carries herself, at first I thought, oh, she'll be good because she's keeping to herself. She's not engaging in the drama with Shella. I said, okay, good. I'm glad to see that. And then you see her like crumpling in on herself, and like all her emotions are showing all over her face. She has no ability to what's the word I want to say? To keep her composure. And I felt like, how do I put this? She's really putting all her eggs in one basket when it comes to Fabio. Like it's the end of the world if she can't be with him. And I think that it sounds like she really hasn't dated too much, period. Obviously, she hasn't had any serious relationships. And I feel bad for her. Like, I want to give her a hug because she's just, you can see that she's trying. And obviously, she's had her feelings hurt before. And it sounds like this is her first time really putting herself out there. And it sucks when you put yourself out there and then you quickly get shanked in the chest for it. Like, that's
Right.
painful. And you got to
Right.
do it in front of everybody. Oh, it's
Right.
so painful.
Because once you see it, there's one of the ladies who was not featured. I don't believe she was featured. Told her,
Mhm.
you got to open your heart up. How are you going to get
Yeah.
anyone to love you
Yeah.
and to be drawn to you if you don't open up your heart? And it's best to open it up and know he's not the one than to keep it
Mm,
closed and miss out if he is the one. You got
yeah.
to give him something to work with. Um, the only scary part of Fabio for me with Alberta is the living situation and dynamic of the family. Is the situation. Meaning,
Because I
I
don't
don't
know.
know how Alberta will blend in and work in a family dynamic like that. Because, as you said, we don't know about so
Right.
many of them. We don't know
Right.
about his family dynamic. And the family may be beautiful, accepting. He's
Mhm.
on this show, they know he's there. But Fabio's a flight attendant or in flight something. And y'all, excuse me, I had to use Google Translate. Either he's a flight attendant or he's working in airport management or something. But they said flight
Mhm.
attendant.
Okay.
Flight attendants aren't usually home. My mother is a flight attendant. I know.
Yeah.
Flight attendants are not usually home. So she will be living in this family dynamic unless he changes career,
Mhm.
basically, usually on her own. I'm not sure that is going to, for anyone, build a lovely marriage, but you
Mhm.
do need to secure that relationship, um, from that standpoint. But I do see why they're drawn together. And I do see highlights of Fabio saying he made a mistake. Ugh, and it just breaks my heart if they do bring them back in. Do not, Netflix, do not play in Alberta's face, please, because we riding at dawn for Alberta. Okay, do not play in Alberta's face, please,
Yeah.
because Alberta is opening herself up, and this is a wonderful thing, and it is something that should be, I guess, it shouldn't be fodder. But I'm
Yeah.
hoping it doesn't harden her heart if they play in her face. But I liked how she was emotional. She did share her thoughts. But as you said, she's sharing her thoughts and looking for comfort in a group of women who are competing with her, as they all are, competing for the same pool of men. And they're
Right.
aware of each other. So I do see, Fabio comes back, he says something else. It's like, okay, okay, I appreciate that. We have seen that in other seasons, but my golly, I I just hope that this, even though it may be a bumpy road, it isn't, crash landing at all. But Alberta girl, hit us up. You got friends over here.
Yes. She would do so well in America. I feel like she just needs to experience a little bit more life and give herself a chance to what's the word, build up her self-esteem. I think that would help her out a lot because you can see glimpses that, like you were saying before, she caught when people were trying to like dismiss her, and she checked them real politely, and it's just like, okay, so you got some gumption about yourself, and clearly you're very brave because you're willing to put yourself out there on international TV. I mean, that's brave. Most of the contestants on here, they didn't even do that. So the fact that she was willing to open herself up like that, I think that says a lot about her character. And I think that she'll make a good partner for somebody, but she just needs like a little bit more time to cook. That's all.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree with that. She has a great foundation.
Yeah.
And this is one of life's lessons. I mean, hey, your first love or even someone that you give your heart to and you think is for you could be
Mm-hmm.
dating somebody else and could choose somebody else. It's just in this
Yeah.
instance, you know who the person is.
Right.
That's all it is. So let's continue with our beautiful
Mm.
sisters. And a couple that I don't know why they're on my screen because they shouldn't have been here. They're not
Yeah.
connected to anyone. Why is Sally and Medina on my screen? Why? I mean,
They
it
need to fill
is a
airtime.
no, because you needed to give me more airtime with some of these reveals. You need to give me more airtime to learn who these people are. Sally and
True.
Medina, y'all are beautiful looking people. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
are of faith. I saw y'all connection there. Y'all celebrate your birthdays. Y'all are similarly behaving. But here's my thing, and please, I put it in my reviews. Those from Germany, please let me know. Here's my thing with you, Medina. Low effort. I said it in my recap. Why are you giving her a plastic concert bracelet? And Sally has turned around and given you a gold necklace. It shows me last minute thought. It shows me what is the gift giving like in Germany? What is it like? Because apart from the plastic bracelet, good sentiment, but it is still a plastic bracelet from a concert he probably wore when he got to the show. The cupcake, sentimental value, cupcake and rose, but it was used for other purposes. And
Mm-hmm.
the letter and the angel cards. Uh, Other than that, I didn't see any other tokens of appreciation. I mean, even Hanny gave Dan, and we'll get to them, Daniel, a ring that she wore that was hugely significant. I'm seeing an imbalance here. But why is Medina and Sally on my screen? Because why is Sally's crying on my screen? There have been Love is Blind Habibi after reveal, the girl left. We never saw, her name was Karma. We never saw Karma crying and
Mm-hmm.
carrying on in the back. We never saw that. Hitab was told she left. That was it. Why are you showing me this with Sally and Medina? I'm protecting my people, but other than we'll get into the reveal. But why do you think Medina and Sal were shown to us?
Okay, so I have two theories here. So my first theory is that the pods, that whole section was whack and it needed to fill airtime, so they included them into the mix so that way they could fill it up. And that, or that corollary here, that maybe because normally Love is Blind, they have more couples than what they show. It may be that for Germany they didn't have as many couples as you would normally get from the franchises, and so they just had to fill that airtime in with another couple so they can get the six that they normally would. The other option is we are going to see them again. There's going to be some sort of drama there, or it's gonna they're going to be able to recover because that's happened before. I want to say Mexico. I think that's what happened. And so they need to establish their relationship from the beginning, so when they do come back, people aren't lost and confused like what the heck is happening, because the drama was good enough that they should be a part of it. Those are my two working theories, because otherwise you're right. Like, why would Love is Blind care?
Yeah, Mexico did have the return. And I was it Renee? and I really liked him. Not so much
I
the
don't remember.
bride.
He was a doctor. The doctor
Yes,
and the
yes, and the
yeah, there was like
lawyer.
a whole colorism thing. Ugh, yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. Mexico
no.
did have that, and for me, it is the sobbing of Sally. If you wanted to keep them, fine. So I could talk about Germany's gift giving, fine. I don't need to see Sally sobbing. I didn't
Um,
need to see that. What you could have done was just tell us and tell him Sally has left. That's it. But with their reveal, I know everybody's talking about how he was disappointed with Sally. His laughing was an issue for Sally.
yeah,
And we are very in tune with what transpired with Sally.
right.
Here's where I would like to bring a different spin. I'm going to look at it from Medina. I'm going to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. Medina told us he's used to being placed in the friend zone.
Hmm.
He's a little bit, chunkier than the
Hmm.
average man on the show too. And he's probably used to seeing women, he's shooting his shot and getting rejected or shut down. As he said, he's put in the friend zone. So when you're put in the friend zone, what do? You laugh it off. You giggle. You become the fun, happy-go-lucky friend. So he's probably looking and expecting her to put him in that zone. And he came with that attitude because he's looking at her, in my view, this is just my
Hmm.
opinion, he's looking at her like, I'm waiting for your disappointment. I'm waiting for you to say something to put me down. And I'm going to laugh and keep my spirits up, not knowing his laugh is actually kind of triggering her and kind of making her feel uncomfortable. So I know we know where Sally is coming from. I
Hmm.
have been in Sally's shoes, so I can see where Sally's, and everybody can explain it. Everybody can see it. But I'd like to give a little bit of grace. These are two Christian folks. Little bit of grace, like where is Medina's, view coming from, and based on what he has shown us to be. And it could be why he did low effort on the gift. Why do so much? Because she may not like me anyway. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I was not. I was not thinking in that direction. I'll tell you that much. I'm gonna back up a little bit here and discuss like their relationship, their relationship overall. Um, I knew from the moment that they both opened up their mouths and said that they were Christians that this was going to be some BS. Consistently, the Christians on this on this franchise has they've disappointed me like at every turn. There's not been one Christian couple on here that I thought would make it, and they never have. And it's because as soon as they hear that each other are Christians, it's like, oh my God, we're gonna match on everything. We don't need to question anything else. We both love Jesus, great. And then that's just the end of it. And so then they give you this surface level conversation about stuff that doesn't matter. It's like, okay, that's cool that you like to celebrate your birthday all month long. Is that a reason to want to marry somebody? No. You both have your guards up. Okay, so then it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do to make sure that doesn't happen going forwards? What needs to happen for you so you feel comfortable and safe? Did any of those questions get asked that at least that we're aware of? No. I walk away, especially with this couple, not knowing anything. I actually forgot about them. And if you think back to where they stood on airing of their relationship, they were always at the tail end of the episode. Like they were a non-factor. And something about how they gelled with each other, I don't know, it wasn't giving anything to me, and I don't care about them. I have zero stakes in their relationship, to be honest with you. um it didn't seem like either one of them had that much effort towards each other. And I think that that's partly because, not partly because, but I think a lot of the couples that we see matched on here, you remember that meme from Denzel Washington where he was like, I'm leaving here with something? I think I think it's a bit of that. I think these people are like, well, you know what? I went through this whole application process. I'm on the show. I don't took time off of work. I'm gonna leave here with something. I'd rather have this little piece of a man, even though I'm not really feeling him like that, than walk away with my tail between my legs. And I think that for this particular couple, that's what we're seeing here. And as far as Medina is concerned, I I got the impression he wasn't really feeling her like that. I don't recall him really saying too much about her looks, or that he was really that turned on by her. I don't think she was that turned on by him either, to be honest. And I think, to your point, maybe he felt that from her and then was just completely checked out. When she's telling him, "Do you want a hug?" he's shutting her down. When she says, "Hey, you're making me uncomfortable," he's not reassuring her. And then towards the end, when he's hearing the producer say, "Hey, she's left the set," the look on his face, to me, I read it as relief. Like, oh, thank God. I wasn't feeling her either. No, I don't have to be the bad guy. And so he's just going to say something to make it look like he's been done dirty. Like, she could have at least said something to me beforehand to make this right. In his heart of hearts, I don't think he really cared. I don't think he really wanted her. I think he probably is thanking her in the back of his head, like, oh, thank you so much that you that you bit the bullet and now you're the bad guy, so I don't have to be. I honestly think that's what was going through his head.
I can see that. I can see he doesn't want to be the bad guy. I can see the relief. I could see, but it could be. I saw, here we go again. I expected this. That kind of look. Like, I expected this. I mean, to me, it's shocked that it happened so soon.
Yeah.
He didn't even leave the doorway, y'all. He was still standing. The door just closed. He's still standing for the shot. He's still standing there. They have the reveal, for those who don't watch the show. They have the reveal. They walk out. They meet each other. It's awkward as heck. Da 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 da. I don't like you. And we have to stand there, and the doors close, and then the shot is over. We see she's crying in her lounge area. He's still standing at the door when the producer says she left. There's no way y'all kept him standing there. We saw Sally crying. Sally was crying for a bit. Did y'all make him stand there? Because usually it's at the confessional. You're told, hey, the person left. It's, a little bit wild. The Mexico, he was told in his confessional that she left. The doors barely closed for Medina, and Sally was gone. So that's why I'm talking to production. For Sally's reaction and for him standing there, something happened on that reveal that really rocked her, and we have not seen it. I mean, something as simple as, I didn't think you would look like this. I mean, it could be simple to production, but something happened that rocked Sally, because Sally didn't seem to me as a very soft, shy person, but this rocked her, and I think they kept it from us. I need to see the unedited version of Medina and Sally's. I'm going to be asking for a lot of unedited footage. I'm going to need to see the raw footage for this reveal, because something happened for Sally to break down as soon as that door closed. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so this is kind of a tangent off of what we're talking about, but you brought up editing, and I said this at the beginning, that this is one of the things that frustrates me about Germany. Out of all of the franchises, I think this show has the worst editing and pacing by far. I really don't like it, because I watched enough of the franchises to know that they will either do this thing where they will focus on like one or two couples per episode at the start. So you're just getting the entire life story for maybe like two couples per episode until all of the couples are revealed, right? So I think that's like 4, maybe 5 episodes. Or they will do a thing where you get everybody up front, and then you're just showing everybody and like bouncing off of each other from beginning to end to episode 4. Germany tries to do both, but badly. So it's like I think they're trying to have like a nice little clip, so they're trying to have like a good pace, and so you're getting everybody in every episode, but also highlighting 1 to 2 episodes, excuse me, 1 to 2 couples per episode. But it's like you don't get a chance to get to know anybody, you don't get a chance to root for anybody, and because of the way that it's clipped, um it's too fast, so I don't care about anybody. And um and, and then on top of that, they're cutting out it. I get the impression that they're cutting out stuff that actually would be important for us to know about each couple and why they're reacting, responding the way that they do. I do not like that at all. And I was thinking about, like, why are they doing this? And so it must be 1 of 2 things, because USA, they do this. They don't have like a consistent thing where they only stick to one style of editing. Either there's more drama on the front end, or there's more drama on the back end. And I think for this particular season, there must be more drama on the back end, because they rushed through these 4 episodes. Like, we don't really know too much about them. And I think this is going to end up being similar to Mexico, where it's like all the drama is happening outside of the pod. So they're like, okay, let's just hurry up and film the pod stuff so we can get to where all the real juicy stuff is on the back end. But it's like it doesn't really matter if I don't care about them on the front end. I don't care about the drama stuff on the back end. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not invested. It's just mess.
Let me tell you who had good pacing for me. Argentina. This is my shout out for my Argentinian
I didn't watch that
um,
one.
contingency. Argentina had good pacing. We
Mm-hmm.
knew there was drama coming, but we got to see the pod drama. We got
Right.
to see the women with their little infighting. We got to see the men trying to make decisions. We learned about people's backstory with their families, and we learned, soccer rivalry. Argentina had good pacing for me. But the only thing I would say with Argentina, with Germany, that I like with Germany the instant reveal. I like that we have proposed, and that before the next couple is shown, I get to see the reveal, so I
I
can be
do like
like,
that.
"Ooh, they don't like each other."
I do like that.
Because we,
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
I like the instant reveal. They didn't do it with one couple right away, but I knew why they took us highs and lows. But Argentina for me had the best pacing for the ones that I listed before that I've watched. Um,
Mm.
I liked, as you said, there's a before in the pods, and then there's an after, and it's very hard to find a Love Is Blind that caught both of them at a good balance.
Yeah.
Speaking of balance, you have more to say about these two, or you want to move on to the next couple?
Um. Nah, for them two, I'm good. Oh no, let me say this. Christian people, we're gonna have to do better about asking better questions. It can't just be, yes, I love Jesus, you love Jesus too. It's got to be more than that. Okay. You do actually have to get to know people. And if you're coming on this show and you know that you have a really bad habit of keeping your guard up, this is not the show for you. It's not going to go well for you to have your guard up and then expect the other party to just deal with that. um how does culture put it? We don't climb the walls, or how did he put it?
We ain't climbing no walls in 2024.
Yeah, no walls. No walls. We done with that. So I'm gonna need you to have a little door open, have a fence, so you get to decide who comes in and who's out. But we not doing no more walls. This ain't no Bob the Builder over here. So yeah, done with that.
So, in the spirit of building and building communities,
Mm-hmm.
let's move on to the next one. Marcel and Jen.
Oh, Marcel.
Marcel was on a rough road with me when he started. Marcel, I was ready to just chuck you off to the side. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. The whole 10 days without technology, I applaud you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I do the whole community outreach, love it, but the whole, I'm not there with the whole one with my universe. I'm not there. So that's why I guess Marcel is a little different. But where Marcel really I guess I connected with Marcel, and I said it in my
Mhm.
recap. Marcel's life story.
Man.
Marcel's life story tells me, and it should have told Jen why he's staring at her all the time. Why he's staring at her all the time. Marcel's life story told me, I understand why you're trying to be one with the universe. I understand now all
Mm.
of that. Yes, I do like Marcel. Yes. Yes. Munira, I hope I said that correctly. I like Marcel. And I understood Marcel when I heard his story. Now, for Marcel, Marcel is taking in information. He's visual. And he also told her in the past he don't like, he can go without a whole lot of talking. And he's a very tactile person. And if his stares are irritating you already, I don't know how Jen is going to be open to his touch. I don't know. But
That's a
he's
good
taking
point.
it all in. He's processing it all. And he's staring at her. Marcel grew up in foster care, y'all. He did not say a whole bunch. There are, like my husband, he had a wonderful foster family and foster relationship. I know everybody doesn't have that. And what Marcel was saying is the difficulty of it. But I would love to know if Marcel has a relationship with his brother, a relationship with his mom, and the dad, because there's a lot of baggage back there.
Mm.
But also, Marcel is just, he's intense, yes, but he will tell you why he's intense. And here's my thing with Jen. I'm talking too much about Marcel. Jen told us that she is about the small gestures. But I don't think Jen is paying attention to the small gestures Marcel is giving her. I don't think he's bringing the food. He's always watching to make sure she's okay. Marcel is always doing the small gestures, but I'm wondering if those gestures aren't what she's saying, isn't what she's meaning. And Marcel is kind of like, is this correct? Is this good? Is this what she's expecting? I don't see Jen being very vocal as to which small gestures resonate with her. And Marcel is staring and looking because she's a beautiful woman. And he's like, is this good? Is this what you're looking for? Is this what it's supposed to be? He's floundering. And I think she is too, because she's like, why are you staring? But I mean, they could work. They don't have as much heavy lifting, I don't think. But it's they got to talk about the gestures and translate to each other what they're looking for. Because even on the jet ski, he's like, "Are you okay? You good?" I mean, I don't understand the hesitation other than his stare, unless she is self-conscious, but she is in fitness too. I don't get it. Tell me, Dahlia, I don't get it.
Um, I think it's hilarious that staring is an issue because when I came to Germany, I was really put off by the fact that people stare a lot here. This is a thing that they do in Germany, and they're not when they're staring at you. It's not to give you compliments. It's not to. They don't say anything to you. They're just staring at you for like long seconds. They're not looking away anywhere else. You can tell they're looking directly at you. And I thought at first maybe this is like a racist thing, but I had so many other of my coworkers say the same thing. Who they're all different races. I was like, okay, so this is just a German thing that they do that. So it's funny to me that the German is saying she's put off by how much he stares, and because it is like the way he does it, it is weird. It's just it's full on. He's looking directly at her, but it almost feels like he's looking through her. Like he's thinking, and it just so happens that his eyes settled on her. And she's like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? Because normally I'm not much of a talker. Shocker, I know, but I'm actually not much of a talker in like regular life. And so when I'm not talking with people, I'm not looking directly at them. You know, I'm looking off into the side or something like that. And I'm hearing them talking. Every once in a while I'll say something, but I'm not just staring at their face for long seconds on end. That's weird. And I'm wondering if maybe that's related to his early life in foster care. Maybe for him, the way he survived was by being a fly on the wall. It's like, okay, let me just keep my mouth shut, and if I'm quiet, they won't even notice me. Because it sounds like he did not have good experiences in foster care. He didn't mention anything about like what your husband had, where he had like a wonderful foster family. He didn't mention anything about that. And so I got the impression that he aged out of the system. He was in foster care the whole time. It wasn't a good time for him. He didn't mention anything about his mother, his father, or his brother. So I'm wondering if he has good relationships with them. The people that he mentioned, who I heard was his friends. He said that he spends time with his friends. They do a lot of volunteer work. They that he meditates a lot. So he's in his head all the time. This guy's in his head all the time. And I think that maybe he's just not used to being around people like that, where he's having to develop an emotional bond with them. It doesn't sound like he really is used to doing that. That's the impression that I got, at least. And so she's probably going to end up having to do a lot of heavy lifting on the front end to create that bond, because I don't think he has the tool set to do that. Not that he doesn't want to learn, because to your point, I think he is a very good man. I think he cares. I think he wants to try with her. I just don't think he has the tool set to do it. And so she's either going to have the patience of Job and the generosity of, I don't know, Jesus, to like really create that. Because I think once he gets it, he'll be a really good husband. But all that's going to have to come from her on the front end, and that could take a few years before he's at the point where he could really show up for her as a great husband. And then as far as she is concerned, it was strange to me, and maybe this is again a victim of poor editing. It was strange to me that he told her he's a Christian. He was given like a little mini testimony about how he found Jesus and about all the work he does in the community. And it didn't seem like she was all that interested. I thought it was unusual that with her being, she was pretty clear that she wasn't spiritual at all, that she wanted this man who so clearly is. And I don't understand her thought process behind that. I don't see what they're bonding over. I don't really know too much about her either. And I'm confused by a lot of the decisions that these people are making. I don't know. I don't see what's the link here? What's keeping them together? I don't get it.
You know, as you know, K Sharp is quoting you, patience of Job, generosity of Jesus. My God. Girl, the Marcel thing. Hear me out, and I'm sorry. I'm going to be duking it out for Marcel in this instance. It ain't that bad. I mean, the man is trying. He is going on a 10-day sabbatical to get one with the world and to get one with the universe. He is feeding his community. I mean, golly. Here's my thing. That steering, you're right. I think it was survival mode. That steering, I need to be able to see when you change.
Yeah.
You change up so I can change and adjust. Now, he's always asking, are you okay? Do you want to eat this? He's serving. And I wonder if that feeding the hungry in the community is also for him to put eyes in the community to save someone, maybe because he wasn't saved.
That's a good point.
And if she isn't on board, because that may be the root of it, we don't know. It's an edited show, y'all. Maybe if she's not on board with his community service, that's going to be a dicey thing. Because I mean, I'm a community service person. I work community service. I still volunteer monthly. If you ain't on board with that, you don't understand my time away for that, or you don't come with me, we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem. But he is, I mean, daggone it, Dahlia, he feeding the community. He feeding the community.
I said he could make a good husband, but I mean, come on now.
I can take full on steer. I can take a full on steer because I'm gonna get you. See, I do energy with energy. We gonna be sitting there staring at each other, and then I'm gonna be making sound effects, and then I'm gonna keep staring at you, reaching for the food and eating it while I'm staring at you. We gonna see who blink first. But you see, it'll be playful for me. It won't be confrontational. But I'm wondering, and I don't know Jen, I don't know her, but what is giving me is that we weren't always fit, and we weren't always seen as the beautiful girl.
You're
And his
right. I
full
forgot
on
that.
stare, his full on
Yeah.
stare is people staring at her before for not in a good way. I'm just guessing. I'm
Mm.
just putting that this is a US thought process. I don't know the culture of Germany, but y'all can certainly let me know. It's giving, I haven't always seen myself as beautiful, and your stare is
Mhm.
unsettling. What are your thoughts on that?
That is a very good point. What I have observed being here, because I've had the opportunity to travel to a few different countries in Europe now. Um, while there are larger people like myself here, it's I don't think of it as the norm. They don't even sell clothing for people my size in most of the stores. Like I have to really go out of my way to find anything, and most of that is having to be online. Everything is just really small and compact here. So I would imagine, because I've been uncomfortable a few times, I would imagine that if she was large, especially if she was younger and she was a bigger girl up against the smaller women here, I can see how you can develop a complex. Like it's not prized here. So that makes sense to me. If your theory is correct, which I'm thinking it might be, it would make sense to me why she was feeling uncomfortable. But I do think we have to take into account these are virtually strangers. Yeah, you've had some conversations, but it sounds like he wasn't talking much in those conversations to begin with. So you're not really getting, it's admirable that he even shared all that information with you about his family history, and that's a good thing. But he's not really sharing too much else other than that. I mean, let me not say that's not true. That's not true. But the stuff that's going on in his head, because he's such a deep thinker, he's not sharing that with her. And so it's allowing space for her to think all kinds of thoughts that are probably not true about what he's thinking and feeling about her. And I know that he's comfortable with silence, but he's gonna have to get over that. Um, in the way that she's got to be patient and generous, he's gonna have to be with her too and be able to give her what she needs. And right now, she needs to know what he's thinking and feeling so she can feel safe and comfortable, which I think he would do for her if somebody explained to him, hey, you need to do this for your partner. This is a necessity in the growing stage, in the bonding stage. She doesn't know you right now. And all that staring that you're doing is weird. Stop. Or if you're gonna stare, can you talk while you stare? Let her know what you're thinking. I think that's useful. And then she's gonna have to learn to be patient with him because he likes to stare. He's locked in his head. He's a thinker, and just roll with that.
But she's going to have
Yeah.
to tell too. She's going to have to communicate too. She's going to have
True.
to learn, because not looking at him, she's not even taken in. He has listened to her. She
Mm.
said small gestures. He is doing the small gestures. But have you told him what small gestures? That's my thing
Mm.
with Jen. I don't think she's told him the small gestures she's expecting, because I'm watching the limited we've seen of them. He's doing small gestures all the time, checking in with her, paying attention to her. But as we see here, this it's normal in the EU countries to have longer eye contact with people during conversations. Um, I haven't traveled to a whole bunch, but I have met a lot of people in the EU. And yes, it is sometimes daunting. It is sometimes in your space too, in
Mm-hmm.
this post COVID community, but you got to communicate with people. You got to tell them, or you got to back up because you got to learn culturally. Culturally, that's there.
Mm.
I agree with you. They lost my luggage when I went to Spain. I had 2 days without luggage. I was in a major Spanish city and couldn't find my size. Okay, I
Yeah.
commiserate with you. I had to I had to use my high school Spanish. The last time I used it was in a trip to Venezuela. It, uh, it was daunting,
Yeah.
but I found it. When I found the location, I found a store, and I learned culturally my size usually does custom. That's what I learned in it
Yep.
was Valencia, Spain. So I learned that. So I'm thinking these two, Marcel, Jen, they just need to speak to each other more
Mm.
and translate what they're looking for to each other, and they would be fine. There's not as many heavy lifting, Miss Job and Patience of God.
But you know what though? Okay, I was making jokes with that, but I
I
find
know.
that couples like this, they listen to larger society, like, oh my God, he's not doing this for you, she's not doing that, break up immediately. It's like you're not willing to take the time to invest. Like you can't see that, like, as a whole, this man, this woman, they have the qualities that you say that you want, or they have the willingness to produce the qualities that you would need to have a good marriage. I see that in them. I see that they could actually be really good together, but they would have to show each other some, give each other some time, have patience with one another. And I also think that in general, men require like really specific communication. Like you were saying before, it's not enough for you to say, "Oh, I like small gestures." You need to be really, really clear with them, because they're not going to know what you mean, because you may as well be speaking another language. So you have to tell them, these are the things that I like. I want this. I want it this way, this size, on this day, at this time, from this person. You got to be plain spoken. They like that. They
And
don't want to feel like they have to read your mind. He's not
and
gonna
rem-
freak out
and
over it.
remember the instructions you gave them. Don't
Yeah,
deviate.
yeah, yeah.
Remember.
They will go by the instructions that you gave them, no more and no less.
So that's Marcel and Jen, and everybody. Again, this is episodes 1 through 4. This is what we've seen. This is, going all the way up, to just our initial thoughts about the show, which we are enjoying. So let's go on. I want to do another triangle, another favorite triangle of mine. And the peak of this triangle, I ain't going to the lady triangle. Peak of this triangle is male. Let's go to Tolga,
Oh,
the self-proclaimed F boy, the self-proclaimed Casanova. Okay,
mm.
okay. Tolga, Tolga came in here to slay y'all. Tolga came in here to win himself a wife. Okay, Tolga came for the ratings and the fans. I'm sorry. If you start saying self-proclaimed F boy and you start showing me self-proclaimed F boy,
Right.
Tolga, you are an F boy. Tolga went and Tolga said that um, Tolga went and Tolga, hey, you want a nice jerk when he's talking to Hannah. Tolga's two interests, y'all, are Hannah and um, Sheila, which I say Sheila, but when you hear it is, I was saying Sheila, and apparently it's Sheila. I was, thank you for the comments who corrected how I was saying it. Um, and he chose Sheila. And let's put it this way, he got what he wanted. He said he wanted a woman that could push back. He said he wanted a
Right.
woman that wouldn't run off and cry and leave the house when he got mad. And I'm like, why are you running off your woman, Tolga? What kind of argument are you having that you having women running off and crying? It's screaming that you didn't want your one night stand to be here the next morning and you put her out, kind of thing.
Mm.
Sorry, Tolga. Only because you said you were a Casanova. But what really irked me with Tolga is when he gave that cupcake and that rose, knowing that would have an emotional effect on Sheila, knowing she would feel something because that's what she shared with him. And he basically went back into his F boy bag and said, "Here, I will give you the cake if you give me yours." And then the top of it for me with Tolga is Tolga said, "Why don't you go and show it off to the other women?" Knowing his other interest is there in that lounge. Tolga, that tells me you are, like Little Black Book 91, where Dahlia and I met. He liked to say dark arts and stuff. It was screaming, I'm going to use it to let the other women know what they missed out on. But you did not think about Hannah. You didn't think about how this would resonate with Hannah unless he thought, unless he thought this will jumpstart Hannah to do more so she can possibly get a gift. But Hannah is, Hannah, you real close behind Alberta with one of my favorites in a few things, but not everything. Not where you didn't want comfort when you came back emotional. But Hannah, when you say you know your worth, you ain't worried about their connection because you have a connection with Tolga. When you checked Tolga for playing with you, saying, after all this, maybe we can hang out and watch Harry Potter, Netflix, and chill. I loved it, Hannah. Absolutely loved it, Hannah, when you checked him. But
Mm.
Tolga, you got what you wish for. And what are your thoughts on Tolga and his triangle?
Okay, so let me say one nice thing about Tolga, because the rest of it's gonna be it ain't gonna be nice. His voice is very nice. It's like really deep, and it's like all here in the chest, it's like Mufasa. I like it. It's nice, and I'm sure he knows that, and he uses it a lot. So, um, he says he's not an F boy. Yes, he is. He just doesn't like the reputation that comes with it. But he's absolutely an F boy. Like his outfit is F boy. His open shirt says F boy. His gelled hair says F boy. Them super light eyes with the dark brows, F boy. And I know he has no choice over his looks, but everything about him says F boy. Um, those unnecessarily tight jeans with the skinny legs, like you don't do leg day, but you gonna wear them skinny pants. F boy. that's an F boy uniform right there. Um, yeah, I don't like him. I don't like how he's playing with Hannah. Um, and I thought at first I appreciated the fact that Sheila confronted him, but then she folded so quickly. I was just Sheila, like, girl, what? Because he told you he can imagine proposing to you or getting married to you. So freaking what? People can imagine a lot of things. That's what imaginations are for. That doesn't mean that that's what they're gonna do. If you really felt like that, why didn't he tell you, I'm gonna go break up with Hannah right away? I want you to know that I'm serious about you. I don't want anybody else. Why didn't you say that? But he doesn't. He's just playing at this point. And just like Shella, I think that he enjoys the fact that he has two women chasing after him. I'm gonna do you one better, Elsie. I honestly feel like that whole cupcake situation. First of all, it was cute that he gave her a cupcake, but I mean, it's a cupcake. I thought it was weird that he's like, "Oh, go show the other girls your cupcake. Maybe you can go and share it." A cupcake? Really? A cupcake is literally designed for one person. but you want her to share this and tell the whole villa about this cute little cupcake that you gave her that you probably bought for all of $2. Please. That was for Hannah. I honestly think that was him putting on his dark arts cap. He's doing that to incite jealousy in Hannah and get her to feel some type of way about that, mess with her head. I think that was how he's trying to nag her and get her to feel shaken up about this situation. And so maybe she'd be willing to give him more praise or promise him more stuff or something. I don't know. Maybe just make him feel better about the fact that he's got two women chasing after him. When really in the back of his mind, he knew the whole time that he wanted Sheila. Also, um, I don't think he knows himself as well as he thinks he does. He was immediately turned on by Sheila because she's willing to challenge him. But it's very clear to me that he actually has a better connection with Hannah. I think look wise, they look like they go together. They look like when I when I picture who he should be with, it would be somebody more like a Hannah. I think that if he saw her, he'd probably be more attracted to her. Um, he would probably say otherwise because she is a bigger woman, but I think deep down inside, like what turns him on more will be somebody like a Hannah. And it's not lost on me that Hannah and Sheila actually look alike. They look like sisters. So that tells me unconsciously Togla has a type. And I think that she fits that traditional conservative, Hannah that is, fits more that traditional conservative Turkish woman. Give me like one more minute and I'm going to stop talking. While I'm here in Germany, I was speaking with one of my coworkers she's German and her family's of Turkish ancestry. They've been here since the end of World War II. And she was giving me like the rundown about how, how Turkish people got over here, what's it like for them. And she was explaining that the Turkish community as a whole is pretty traditional. They're conservative. They tend to be Muslim. They're usually, at least in Germany, they tend to cluster together. They're like little enclaves. They have their own businesses, and they tend to they date interracially, but you'll see a lot of them around each other. And he gives me conservative, traditional Turkish guy. And I feel like for him, he can be resistant to it all he wants, but what he really needs is somebody like a Hannah, not a Sheila. I don't think Sheila would be a good fit for him. I think Sheila would drive him crazy and he would drive her crazy. She'd probably try to go and take him out. Hannah could handle him. And I think that she has just enough backbone that she's not going to just let him walk all over her, but she has the conservative ideals that I think that he would actually appreciate. And I wouldn't be surprised if the production team somehow finagles a meeting between him and Hannah,
Yes.
because he was asking, I think, Honey about her. Honey, I noticed, didn't mention Hannah's looks. All she said was that she's Turkish and that she's fun to be around and she's a good time and she's so funny, right? So I think they're going to try and finagle that situation to see what's going to happen between them, because it looks like Togla's ready to go. So, yeah.
Yeah, I placed a short about that production did, with Sheila saying that she's so happy and he's saying it's stifling. He is not comfortable. He don't like her. He don't like it, the situation. He didn't even like the daggone animal towels on the bed, and he had to disturb it. That's how disturbed Tolga was with Sheila and the whole situation. He had to disrupt it. My thing with Tolga, and this comment, yes, I did not like the whole "I'm number one" being chanted in the ladies' lounge with Hannah being there. There's some things as a gracious loser, but you have to also be a gracious winner, especially when you don't even know if you won a prize.
Yeah.
Because clearly Tolga thinks he's the prize. But especially if you don't know, you gonna actually make it down there. Yeah, Tolga kept on saying things to Sheila too that irked me. You got what you wanted. You won. You this. He never says, I'm so happy to have you. I'm
Right.
so looking forward to being with you. He's like, you got what you want? And she's there with the ladies. I got a ring. I, Tolga, I know you perked up when Hanny said, when you said, is she Turkish? And Hanny said, yes, you perked up. You saw
Mm-hmm.
your options wide open. But
Yep.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hannah said, hell no to meeting up afterwards because of you're going to be married to someone. Would she come back with him if he's no longer engaged? Is my question to Hannah. That is, Hannah has a moral core. But if she finds out and she hears I am no longer engaged to Sheila, will she say, well, you made your decision? Or has she been watching Love is Blind and saw Seattle with Zach and Bliss, who are happily married and got a kid, and say,
Yep.
hey, maybe this could work? I will not have a problem if Hannah said that. I just don't think Tolga is the man to say it to. I
I
would
think
quicker
it
say,
depends. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
I'll quicker say it to Fabio, maybe, but Tolga, definitely not. I'm sorry. I said maybe, not definitely. Maybe. I saw your face.
I definitely think that Fabio will want to circle back. I don't think that Alberta should, to be honest with you. I don't think they'd be good for each other. And I don't think that Tugler would be good for Hannah. Hannah, I think, might say yes to him if and only if no one tells her anything about his relationship with Sheila. I think if somehow he gets to her and like cuts off opportunities for her to learn anything else before the show airs, she might say yes to him and then, feel all right about it. But um, if she has a chance to speak to Sheila or any of the other ladies and hear about what's going on in his relationship with her, I think she'll back off because she's like, okay, now you're just a liability. I don't need nothing to do with you. Yeah.
She may talk to Hanny because Hanny's her girl. She may talk if they have their phones on the honeymoon. She may talk to her,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but we don't know. But Tolga, I don't think he's the man to do that with. And whew, I know you have to go, and we only
Yeah.
have I have two more couples to talk, but we're gonna do this next week.
Oh, there are two more couples. Wait, who's the other couples?
You forgot Ilias and Alina. You forgot Hanny and Daniel.
Oh, forgot about them. Okay.
But we can
Dang.
talk about them
And I
next
wanted
week.
to talk about
If
Honey too, because Honey, ooh.
Oh yes, Honey. Yes, yes. But that's the tough
Okay, let
Caucasian
me.
me that resonate with Honey. No, 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 girl. We can.
Can we do? Okay, can we do Honey real quick? Because I
Yes,
got
let's
some stuff
do
to
it.
say about
Yes.
her.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, and then I gotta go. Okay, so Honey and Daniel. First of all, the first episode, I thought it was hilarious that she was like, more than just my body, people, they don't respect me for my mind or anything. And she says this while she's got like titties out and she's just like, just boobies everywhere. She's talking about how people don't, they don't respect her for her mind. They only care about her body. And it's just like, well, ma'am, you know what you're doing. You bottom. You know what you're doing. I don't even know why are we playing this game as though you're really offended that they're checking you for how you look. And she's making it seem as though she's had them her whole life, like she didn't just buy them. Those are not your boobs, ma'am. They are yours now because you paid for them, but they were not always yours. That's okay. They look good. You whoever did them did a good job on them. They look good on you. But let's not sit up here and act like this has just been a problem for you your whole life and you don't know why people are just so in love with your body and they don't pay attention to your mind or your heart. Stop. So there's that. Um I do think that I thought that on the surface, at least, that her and Daniel would be a good fit for each other. I thought they got along really well. Um, they look good together. It's clear that they're both attracted to each other. And Um, I think that I think that she appreciates the fact that she knows for a fact that he likes her for her as opposed to just her body. I think this show was created for people like her because she can then kind of relax a little bit and get to know people for who they are and show her character without having to wonder in the back of her mind whether or not that they really like her. Um, though I will say that again, she strikes me as I think she thinks she's a deeper person than she actually is. I don't think she's that deep. The questions that she was asking both of the men didn't strike me as that deep. I don't feel like she got to really know either one of them. And I also didn't appreciate the fact that once she got to the honeymoon, as soon as they got to the party, she was immediately jumping over to the men's side, wanting to be all up in the mix over there, and then wanting to flirt with Ilya. And I
Ilya.
feel like, yeah, I feel like she was doing that intentionally to test Daniel. I don't like that. I really, really don't like that behavior, especially when at this point now, she has no reason to do that. Like Daniel hasn't given her a reason to operate like that. And the fact that Ilya was willing to go along with it, not cool to me. Like you couldn't even be bothered to wait until the next day. Like you have to go do it now in front of everybody and embarrass this poor woman. I don't like that. And it
Ilya's
just made me,
Ilias,
yeah,
Ilias pissed me off with that, especially
yeah,
since you know Ilias, you're coming off of the heels of a conversation with Alina that she
right,
forgave you about cheating.
right.
This is
And
going to
it
be
was
sounding
just,
off her alarm bells.
it was just distasteful. And I don't know, something about the way that she was carrying herself. I don't get that she's a girl's girl in that way. And I don't understand her thought process with Daniel. Um, that you literally just got together with him. And to be honest with you, he's the best looking dude of the bunch. Like they actually look like they belong together. I don't understand what she's doing. I don't
I,
understand what point that she's
she
trying to make here. I see what
she's
she's doing. I just don't understand the reasoning behind it, what's triggered it. And as far as Ilya is concerned, it's like, okay, I don't understand why she chose him. I mean, he's personable, but you said that you value looks a lot. But Ilya is what you want? Or is it or are you just using him in order to make Daniel jealous? I don't get it.
the thing she's using it, one, ego, two, she met her connection. I don't know. We don't know if Ilias is more her type. We don't know. We don't know her dating history. But again,
Yeah.
it's a respect issue. Ilias is looking, she's thinking, I have both of them know me emotionally. Both of them have connected without seeing me. And now
Yeah.
Ilias is seeing me too. She is doing the jealousy factor, which we do not like. I'll give you a caveat. A young lady
Mm-hmm.
in Love is Blind Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
she did a jealousy thing where she was even hugged up on another dude in the pool to get a reaction out of her fiance.
Mm-mm.
And they got married and they are still together. I believe her name was Emily and her groom was Santiago.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, she did one of those. And he did have a reaction, not
Yeah.
immediately there. He had an immediate looking reaction, but later on she heard about it. But they had other issues, but they eventually married and they together, still. But
Mm.
I think it's ego too, for Hanny. She just told Daniel he was what she wanted. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to talk deeper after you go about Ilias because he's all about physical, and that's all his conversations were. What were you wearing
Yeah.
while you were? Women don't like to talk openly about physical stuff, and Ilias is just yes, yes, Murina. Ilias is easy, and that's why she uses him. He easy, and she's easy on the eye. Honey is an absolutely gorgeous woman, and she
She
knows
is.
it. She's been told it. She's tired
Mm-hmm.
of being a purse and a trophy to people. but you're putting yourself out to be a prize for whoever wishes to compete. That's what she's doing right now. But I appreciate you, Dahlia. I know you got to go. I'm going to continue. I hope you can join me next week while we talk about the next 4 episodes. I don't
Absolutely, I
know.
will.
I hope. Y'all, thank you. Thank Dahlia. And we're going to thank Little Black Book 91 for hooking us up together.
Yes. Thank you, Kojo, wherever you are. Thank you
Okay,
for
girl,
having me
I'll
on.
see
This
you.
is fun.
No problem. No problem. So, y'all, I'm going to continue as we were talking about the love triangle with Hani and Daniel. We don't know too much about them. They got engaged in the first episode. We know that she loves the fact that he, you know, loved her mind. What I had an issue with, which Daniel did have an issue with, is that she never said "I love you," and I would like to know more about her connection to the words "I love you" and why she's never said that. Sometimes you just don't say it because you've never felt loved. It can be as simple as that. For me, Hani is an absolutely gorgeous woman. She knows she's gorgeous. Her life has shown her she is gorgeous. Um, but to wield that against the person you are engaged to trigger jealousy, I am not with that, Hani. Sorry, Hani. I'm not with that. Trying to trigger your significant other who you profess to want to have a relationship with, whether you say you love them or not cool. Especially when we see Daniel getting the robe for you. Daniel is paying attention. You are acknowledging he's doing all these great things. Why would you look at Elias and do that in front of Daniel? In front of Daniel. And acknowledge that y'all are going to be questioned later about what is going on. Now, Ilias, as I was talking with Dahlia, Ilias is, we have seen he is talking physical, physical, physical. And Alina, she's our zodiac girl. She is all about the zodiac signs, and she guessed his correctly. Um, she wants to be married. She wants a marriage. She wants to be with someone. She, Alina, my biggest gripe is you have a problem with someone who's cheated before. Why take Ilias on? And now here we are at the couples mixer, and you are sitting there looking and knowing he's flirting with another woman in front of you. He is flirting with his other connection in front of you. Ilias, you're not showing that you're willing to protect her feelings. It seems like you're very selfish. Constantly, like, now that you've seen Hani, it's like, who's Alina? And I wouldn't be surprised if Alina doesn't, hightail it and run, but Alina wants to be married, wants to be in a relationship. I'm hoping that Hani and Ilias get over this. I'm hoping that it's like a first kind of attraction, realize, yeah, but this is what I used to go for. I'm hoping they get over it, but the previews do not say that they are going to get any better. Any better. I'm just looking forward in the previews that Sally and Medina will have a conversation. I'm hoping it's productive. Don't play with me, Netflix and Love is Blind. I do not wish to see Sally crying and sobbing. Please, you could tell me what happened in just words across the screen. But folks, I wish to thank you so much for joining me in my recaps and reviews. As I said, a friend of mine said to me, "You're getting stamps in your passport." I have a Love is Blind passport. I have been to Brazil season 4, Mexico, Argentina, Habibi, which was an exciting and very culturally awakening um, series for me. Habibi taught me a whole lot about the culture, and I'm hoping to learn a whole lot here now with Love is Blind Germany. I hope you will continue to enjoy my recaps and review. I will be dropping them, of course, on Friday and on the weekend. And I appreciate you all who've made comments, who've educated me, and who've just been here at the live or who catching the recaps afterwards, catching the replay. I really, really do enjoy you. I hope you will continue with me. And we could do this again next week. Review the 4 episodes they're going to drop, and hopefully the weddings are included, and we shall see. But thank you. Please take a moment before I exit, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the comments and in the YouTube streets. Thank you and have a good one.